Chapter 6. If you're meeting me here for the first time, I am reading this book here. That's a great question. I'd love to tell you by Elyse Myers. I am doing my reactions to it and my commentary along the way. I encourage everybody to please buy the book. And if you'd like to listen to authors actually reading, do and buy the audiobook. This is not me reading it in entirety. It is me giving my reactions along the way because I am neurodivergent and it helps me to understand things when I can read it aloud. Sometimes I don't understand it until I've reread something a couple times. I am not a professional reader nor a very great reader, and I don't really expect many people will probably see this, but if you are here, I really appreciate you, and I would love to hear what you're thinking about it in the comments. We are now on, so this is 6. Unfortunately, part 5 had to have an A and B. I hate that. That's my neat structure version of myself. Anyway, so this one is entitled The Elevator to Paris, or Paris, I don't know. There's been a misunderstanding, or wait, okay, no. The first part, there was California, which is sort of a sub thing, and there was like this picture of what was going on in California. Now this one might be, actually that's maybe not a chapter. This is maybe a part, like I don't think that's a chapter name. It's like the next section. I don't know what that's called because I don't write books. But so maybe this one's actually called There's Been a Misunderstanding, which now I have to go back to the front where the chapters were written out to see if that makes sense. Where are they? Okay. Factory reset. And then the next one is There's Been a Misunderstanding. So yes, the road to Paris is just like another section. Okay, now that we're there. There's been a misunderstanding. We walk into the nightclub and I grab a seat at the bar. My friends go and make new friends on the dance floor. My brain is still getting accustomed to a legal drinking age that's 3 years younger than it is back home. I'm still shocked to see an 18-year-old confidently drinking alcohol in public without looking over their shoulder or chugging in the girls' restroom out of a crinkled up water bottle. Unfortunately, I have not had a personality transplant since leaving my unfortunately, I've not had a personality transplant since leaving my dorm and immediately regret coming out for the night. My drink is gone before I can even register what I'm tasting. Though I want another, I had brought only enough cash with me for one drink. It's probably for the best. In an effort to save money this evening, we'd all enjoyed a very festive pregame back in our dorm before going out for the night. I can already feel tomorrow Elyse cursing tonight Elyse while I sit here in this spinning room. By the way, I cannot tell you how many times that I felt like I needed to drink to even just kind of sound normal. And then if I didn't sound normal, at least people would assume that I was drunk and not just autistic. I close my tab with the bartender and wonder how safe it would be if I left the nightclub and walked home by myself. As I set a handful of €2 coins onto my bill, I see a man in a white button-up, which is definitely one size too small, walking toward me. I assume it isn't an accident that the top 3 buttons of his shirt are unfastened, exposing the suspiciously hairless skin on his chest. He is beautiful, not in a way that immediately makes me swoon, but in a way a painting is beautiful. Before I can think, I spin 180 degrees in my seat to face the bartender again. I'd felt my face flush as I watched White Button-Up walk across the room, and I wanted to hide my crimson cheeks. Every single person I've met while living in Paris has reminded me of someone I know back home, just the hotter and more relaxed version, who also smoke cigarettes whenever they drink. It's their style. How comfortable they seem in their skin, or how they rarely just that much, are they really just that much more attractive? Standing in front of Parisians makes me wish I had one of those tiny museum headsets, you know, the ones that you rent at the help desk that come with audio tapes and a free side of shame. Those headsets always make me feel like I need help catching up on the culture and context I clearly lack in order to fully appreciate the beauty of the art in front of me. I wish I had one of those to fully appreciate Parisians. They are living art. I begin imagining how grateful I would be if I had a tiny museum headset for every situation in life. Can't read social cues? Tiny headset. Can't remember if your best friend is currently on or off again with her not boyfriend? Tiny headset. What's so funny? A voice snaps me out of whatever tiny museum headset trance I accidentally put myself in, and I shake my head to return to reality. White Button-Up is now sitting on the bar stool beside me. Whatever I plan to say suddenly doesn't seem good enough. Unfortunately, I have no backup to, oh, nothing. I'm just thinking about museum headsets. Instead, I sit in complete silence. Before we go on, I just have to tell you something. This is my side note. There was this guy that I had seen like at a couple bars, and I just felt this feeling around him like he was just this amazing thing. You know how you have a crush maybe on like a stranger, and like one time like he kind of like looked at me and I felt like I should have said something. So then I went out like the next night, maybe that was a Friday night. I went out Saturday night with a girlfriend and I said, oh my God, I saw the most beautiful guy. I've seen him a couple of times out before. He's kind of this stranger that I'm like enamored with. And she said, oh, okay, well, if you ever like see him again, like it's too bad you didn't say anything or whatever. So anyway, I was literally just talking about it. And then that next night he comes into another bar. So he's in this bar and I'm like, you're not going to believe this. This guy that I just keep seeing at bars, he's here again. And I just found him to be so incredibly beautiful. And like, I got so tongue tied. And she's like, okay, well, you know what, Jenna, you are not going to get by tonight without saying anything, because I had so wanted to have said something before. That was like what our whole conversation was, is about how I was regretting not having said anything to him. So anyway, she ends up, I realize right now I'm putting two stories together, but that's okay. Anyway, this is how this started with this guy. So basically she ends up telling me, okay, well, if you don't feel like you want to go up to him and talk to him tonight, you should at least write him a note. So I write him a note on this napkin, like with my phone number, and say, you know, I'd really love to know you. I think you're cute or something. I can't remember what it was, but I folded up the note, or the napkin note. Maybe it was a receipt. I don't know, but it was something like in my purse, right? So I finally like made it. There was like a really good song that I hadn't danced to. So I go out there and I'm like kind of on the dance floor, kind of sitting there, and I like, we look at each other again, and he's like, hi, or whatever. And I'm like, hi. He goes, and I think he said something like, I think I saw you last night somewhere. I'm like, yeah. And then I just went like this, I have something for you. And I just like handed him like this note, and he's looking down like, well, that's weird that there's like a premeditated note, like, cause you know, anyway. So he's like, you have a note for me? And I'm like, yeah. And I go, but you can read it later. You don't have, or maybe you can just, I mean, you can read it now or later. I don't know. So he's like, do you want me to read it? And I go, well, it just basically said that like, I thought it would be fun if we could maybe get together and like listen to music together sometime. And that's all that the note says. And then he looks at me, he's like, so like what we're doing right now? And I'm just like, because my autistic brain did not plan for this to be a date, just like she's saying in the earlier stuff, like, yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I would have wanted to do had I known I was going to be in a date and prepared for it, and wore like probably a different outfit and prepared myself for like 8 hours ahead of time. But no, that isn't what happened. I'm just there finding myself on a date. And I'm like, I've got to go now. So then I like went, and then I saw him at a bunch of other shows, and we did kind of, I think I Facebook friend him or whatever. But there's this one next like time that we get together where it actually, he already knew I kind of liked him. We were at a show. It wasn't really a date, but I'd warmed up to the idea that I might see him. So we get finally to a place where there's a few of us talking, and then other people left to where it's just he and I in kind of a quieter area by like a pool table where it's not like a screaming nightclub thing. And do you know what I said to him? I looked at him and I said, what kind of plates do you have? He's like, what? I said, you know, like at home, like when you eat dinner and stuff, like what kind of plates do you have? I don't know why, but that was like popping in my head, and I seem to find it interesting because some plates are just one color. Sometimes they're white, sometimes they're off-white, sometimes they have just one stripe around them. Sometimes they have like Corningware or like little patterns. Sometimes they have, there's so many different types of plates, and that was so irrelevant to anything. But I just remembered how, like, I couldn't believe that that's what I had said to him. And then, he told me what kind of plates they are, but I was so nervous at the time, I don't remember even what he said. So if I'm not even going to care what he said, why did I even ask that question? But it is a super funny Elyse-ism that I have done. So I totally understand. Like, I don't even remember what she's saying now. Let me go back in, but I had to say that story. Needless to say, it didn't work out with that guy. It never really formed much after that because I could not. Every single time that I was around him, I just like stuck my foot in my mouth in a million different ways. So, oh, nothing. I'm just thinking about museum headsets. Instead, I sit in complete silence. Now would be a good time to say something, Elyse. Literally anything. I'm staring at White Button Up and nothing is coming out of my mouth. As my brain continues to buffer, I realize I'm eye level with his exposed chest. Tiny museum headsets, I finally managed to say. Excusez-moi? He's confused. I'm embarrassed. It's not, never mind, sorry. I turn into myself with my head down and my hands around my empty glass. I think my default factory setting is apologetic, especially when I have no reason to be. I panic because my knowledge of the French language at this point is conversational at best, and by at best, I mean when I'm sober. I can feel my mind going much slower after a couple of drinks. If White Button Up plans on having a conversation with me beyond good morning, good evening, good night, and where's the bathroom, then unfortunately we're going to have a very short conversation. Oh, it's 4:44. Record-breaking short. You want company tonight? I think that's him saying that. I think he's talking to me. He is talking to me, right? I look beside me to ensure I don't make myself look even more dense than I already look. I must have been silent longer than I thought because he adds a follow-up. Don't worry, I'm cheap. Great. I've made the man beg just to sit down. I'm off to a fantastic start. I mean, I won't say no. What kind of answer is that? Yes, sure, that would be great. My friends are around here someplace or somewhere. I didn't come here alone. I am here alone. It's not in a pair, not a couple. I'm trying to say I'm single, but I came here with people, so I'm not alone. I continue to fill the air with words that are loosely related to one another, hoping he'll cut me off and put me out of my misery. He's a gentleman, unfortunately. I continue. Being alone isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's kind of nice. Boyfriends are nice too, but so is being alone. I'm not a loner or anything. I'm just introverted. Are you introverted or extroverted? My brain is in outer space and my mouth is on autopilot. I would like to disappear. You want to be alone? No, I can leave. No, that's not it. You can stay. Stay. I don't know French, so I don't know if I'm doing this right. This is not going well. We spend the next 10 minutes attempting to make small talk through our language barrier. I have never wished I had paid attention to class more than right now. After a few questions are asked and answered, I met the eye of one of my friends dancing across the club. Stella is clearly waiting for me to give a glance so that she can start preparing her next steps if interference is needed. There are 3 universal glances that you must know and have ready to go at any moment. The glances, a comprehensive breakdown. Glance number 1, very bad. And there's some eyes. You guys, when I saw this book and just kind of flipped the page, I noticed that there were illustrations here. But I thought these were going to be of her breasts. If I'm just going to glance this really fast, and I want you to look at the top one. Here. Okay. So if you just look at these, I thought this was her neck, and that this is like her shoulder, and that these are boobs. That's what I thought, and I was thinking already, trying to put in context, okay, she's meeting a guy at the club. Is she going to be talking about how he with her later? And I was thinking, wow, this is going to be really interesting, her telling me what's happening with her boobs. They're not boobs. They're not boobs. These are eyes. Oh my God. Glance number 1, very bad. What it means, I am not safe. I'm uncomfortable. I need you to save me. Desired outcome. The friend on the receiving end of this glance interrupts the conversation you're in and saves you from an uncomfortable romantic or social interaction. Glance number 1, tense and or downward eyebrows, wide eyes, tense lower eyelids, panic tone. Glance number 2, smooth and high, eyebrows arches, tone, excitement, a twinkle in the eyes, subtle under eye lines from smiling. And glance number 3, slightly raised eyebrows, amusement, lifted upper eyelids, tone, mischief for number 3. Glance number 2 is very good. What it means, I'm safe, I'm enjoying myself, I want it to lead to more. Desired outcome, the friend receiving the glance stays a respectful distance away, ready to body slam anyone who tries to interrupt your conversation. Glance number 3, both very good and very bad. What it means, I'm safe, I'm in the middle of hearing or experiencing something that we're definitely going to be debriefing later. Get ready. Desired outcome, the friend receiving the glance keeps a respectful distance from your conversation, but the moment that you're all together, they remind you to share every detail you can possibly remember from the conversation. No interference needed. I quickly give Stella glance number 2, hoping she's able to see the subtle reassurance I'm sending with my eyeballs, given that this room seems like it's lit by one single light bulb. I continue my sad attempt at flirting in a language I'm actively studying and failing in school, while Button-Up refreshes my vodka tonic alongside his glass of red wine. This is turning out to be one of the more successful encounters I've ever had with the opposite sex. And it only took flying more than 5,000 miles away from home and draining my entire life savings. I'll take it. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see my classmates huddling in a circle near the exit of the club. I turn toward the bartender to close out my tab and remember that I don't have any more cash with me. Close out, the bartender asks. I wish it wasn't so obvious that I'm American. Oui, merci, I say in my best accent. I take my bill from the bartender, but White Button-Up kindly grabs it from me with one hand and places his other hand on his chest. Me, he says with a smile. I'm equal parts blinded by his incredible smile and grateful he offered to pay for my drink. This man is more attractive than the actors they cast in perfume commercials. What is he doing standing next to me? The only logical conclusion I can piece together is that I've fallen on my way to the bathroom, I've hit my head, and I'm hallucinating. This just doesn't happen. This is another moment when a tiny museum headset would be useful. I'd like it to explain to me what the hell is happening right now. Unless you don't want me to pay. Oh my God, no, I'm sorry. No, yes, that's fine. Thank you. Sorry. White Button-Up laughs. No or yes? Sorry, yes. You say sorry too much. I know. It's taken an enormous amount of restraint not to apologize again, this time for apologizing. White Button-Up leaves enough cash to pay for both our bills and stands next to me as I gather my things. I'm not entirely sure where my group is going next, but I assume it will have something to do with food. We've been drinking since class got out at 3 in the afternoon, and the clock is now inching close to midnight. I shuffle through, sorry, can't have gum anymore, and I need water. I shuffle through what I have eaten today. A chicken and cheese panini this morning at 10, a coffee at 2, the bottle of wine I shared with my roommate Stella, and a panna chocolate. I can never say that. I took 2 bites of and then forgot existed as soon as Stella and I started talking or taking going out pictures before leaving. My stomach is churning thinking about how many hours I'd been drinking without a proper meal. By the looks of it, we picked up a few other additions to our cohort this evening. With just enough liquid courage, I turn to White Button-Up and ask if he wants to join my group for the rest of the evening. He agrees and slowly introduces himself to everyone standing in the huddle. Stella is showing off her A+ French skills to White Button-Up as I'm negotiating with the others on where we should pick up food before walking back to our dorm. I campaign for the falafel cart I've been obsessed with ever since living here, mostly because someone told me on my first day of school that it was Lenny Kravitz's favorite falafel place in Paris. I've never bothered to look this up. I am more than happy to accept this as fact and make it my favorite falafel place in Paris. My favorite and also my first, I was too embarrassed to ask. What the hell is a falafel? I look up the name and address of Lenny's and my favorite falafel stand to see if it's anywhere near the club we're in, and Google tells me it's already closed. We settle on a spot a few doors down that sells pizza by the slice. I wonder if Lenny Kravitz has a favorite pizza spot in Paris too. I just learned the other day that he's vegan and sometimes like super, even raw vegan sometimes. Our group remains close together. I'm vegan, so I said that. Anyway. Our group, we also had falafel yesterday, and I have that's kind of all these synchronicities from the book. Our group remains close together through the back alleys and cobblestone sidewalks of the Latin Quarter. We are in one of the oldest districts in Paris, surrounded by beautiful and historic landmarks, but all I can think about is the fact that I just suggested pizza, and I don't even have enough money to pay for a slice of pizza. I move myself to the back of the line as everyone else frantically presses themselves against the thin glass window at the front of the shop. Pizza can't solve every problem, but it can definitely solve our group's most urgent problem this evening, sour stomachs. Stella knows I can't spontaneously pay for food I didn't budget for, so I do my best to hide from her eyeline. I don't enjoy talking about money with her, simply because I don't have much of it and she does. Knowing that, she is never shy about making sure I have what I need and sometimes even what I want. I frequently protest her generosity, but she never relents. Of all the strangers I could have been randomly assigned as a roommate, I'm so grateful it was Stella. But tonight, of all nights, I really don't want to have a loud conversation about finances that ends with her buying me a piece of margarita pizza, especially in front of White Button-Up. I can't think of many things more humiliating. I feel my only option is to squat down on the cobblestone sidewalk at the back of the line and hope that Stella doesn't notice me before she gets pulled in by the pizza man shouting. "Are you okay?" White Button-Up asks from way up there. I hadn't thought twice about sitting directly on the cold ground, nor the possibility that I'd look like a crazy person to this stranger. If I explain that I am hiding from Stella because I don't have enough money to buy myself an emergency slice of pizza, then I'll embarrass myself. But if I don't explain why I suddenly dropped down to the ground like I'm on fire and had to stop, drop, and roll, then I'd also embarrass myself. Either way, you slice this pizza, I lose. My least favorite kind of pizza is a lose-lose pizza. I open my mouth and hope for the best. "Oh, I'm fine. I'm incredible, actually. I just suddenly realized my feet were sore, so I sat down on the ground." I gently touch the sidewalk with my hand, the same way that someone would pat the empty seat next to them on the couch as an invitation to sit next to them. I don't see the empty bench next to me until White Button-Up responds by saying nothing at all and looking directly at it. The bench is close enough for me to reach out and touch it. "So, you want pizza, yes?" I purse my lips, wave my hands, and shake my head as if the mere thought of pizza disgusts me. "This was your idea, and you do not want it?" You're right. Yes, but I don't really want it. I mean, I want it. I just don't want it right now. What do I mean? The longer I drag this sentence out, the less familiar my voice sounds to me. I actually start to transition into a voice that I believe my subconscious brain reserves only for special moments like this one. Moments I can only describe as a unique type of hell designed specifically for me and me alone. I'm really struggling to tell him I can't afford this pizza. I can't pay for it. There. That wasn't so difficult, was it? You can pay me back in the room. It's fine. This is fine. Everything's going to be fine. With our slices of pizza folded in our hands, my classmates and I walk back toward our dorm with our new friends, discussing what the rest of the night holds for us. As we walk, White Button-Up and I fall behind a few paces from the rest of the group. As much as I want to rely on the charm of my more extroverted classmates, I know at some point I have to maintain a one-on-one conversation with White Button-Up if I have any chance at seeing this man again. I have enough friends, and by enough I mean like 2, because that's about as many friendships as I can realistically maintain at any given time. Any more than that, then I start to forget people exist when they're not directly in front of me. I'm more interested in figuring out if the universe is pranking me by sending me this gorgeous specimen of a man, or if he's actually sticking by my side tonight because he's attracted to me. I'm watching my classmates in front of me talk to one another with ease. I wonder what it feels like to be so comfortable around other people, and the loudest sound you hear is the other person talking to you. For as long as I can remember, I've heard no fewer than 17 competing conversations in my head before I can answer the questions I'm being asked by other people. I overhear something about board games and beer coming from the group, which is more of a relief than it should be. From the moment I walked out of the nightclub with White Button-Up, I've been scouring every dusty corner of my brain to come up with group activities that would keep everyone awake and together in one room. Apparently, my game plan is to group hang out my way into spending more time with White Button-Up. It's been said that you're only as interesting as the company you keep. By that logic alone, I feel like my plan has some serious potential. Oh my God, is this a date? Hold on, just one thing at a time. So do you like pizza? This is the first sentence that left my mouth in at least 2 blocks, and it comes out as a whisper. My throat is so dry, I feel like I swallowed dust. What kind of question is that? Who doesn't like pizza? He just ate pizza, didn't he? I'm supposed to be channeling my easy breezy, beautiful French cover girl, but right now all I'm channeling is a panic attack. Of course, but American pizza is very different to pizza here, no? He seems genuinely interested in my thoughts on this comparison, which somehow makes me even more nervous. His undivided attention feels like too much attention. Different, completely different. There's no possible way that Domino's, I point to my left, and the slice of magic I just ate, now pointing to my right, could be classified as the same food. They're both delicious, but not the same at all. He presses his lips together and the corner of his mouth smiles. He seems pleased by my comparison, which makes me feel like I answered the question correctly. Relief floods my body, and for the first time the entire evening I feel comfortable standing next to this gorgeous stranger. I don't realize I have lost feeling in my fingertips until I release my hands from the death grip they have around absolutely nothing but the outside air. I can feel blood start to sweep through the sandy pins and needles that were in my fingertips a moment ago. I shake my hands to speed up the process. My limbs start receiving the appropriate amount of blood flow. My nerves settle. I think this is going well. I could say the same thing about American and Parisian men. I am pizza? White Button-Up laughs. No, that's not what I mean. You know what I mean. Maybe you don't know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is you're very different from the men I've talked to before. How do you mean? I mean, look at you. There are buttons on your shirt. That makes you more of an adult than anyone I've ever talked to. But then look at you. You're so beautiful. I don't know how else to describe you. Handsome isn't quite nearly enough. You go to nightclubs by yourself. You're comfortable ordering a drink alone. You ask questions. Your eye contact is a holy experience. So holy that I'm almost afraid to look directly into your eyes right now, in a good way. What was once a mere snowball of an idea to compliment this man has turned into word vomit and a word vomit avalanche, and I can't stop it. My mouth officially feels out of my control. That's it. That's it, I think, is the sarcasm from White Button-Up. I think he's making a joke, and I think I like him very much. I think I'm drunk. That's not even close to being all. You smell like a wild garden of flowers in the middle of a pine tree forest. When you ate your pizza, you looked like a walking advertisement for pizza. I wanted to buy more pizza simply because of the way you ate your pizza. Pizza is not objectively sexy food, but you made it one. And I look at your hair. It's perfectly placed like a Ken doll. Have you ever seen a Ken doll? You probably haven't. Here, I'll show you. This is what a Ken doll looks like. She trails off. He intercepts my attempt at a mid-conversation Google search by placing his hand over my phone as I take it out of my pocket. His hand rests atop mine in the process. It's so warm, unbelievably warm, like maybe the warmest hand I've ever touched in my life. I put my other hand on top of his. It's impressive that your hands aren't sweaty. That's not what I wanted to say at all. I'm sorry, he asks. Your hands are warm without being sweaty. That's impressive. My hands sweat all the time. I don't even need to be warm for them to sweat. That's why I usually avoid holding hands with people. I don't want them to feel how sweaty my hands are. I don't know why I'm saying all this out loud. Before I can change the topic, White Button-Up grabs my hand and gently places it in his. If I had 100 guesses for what I thought tonight would look like, I wouldn't have come close to guessing this. I was not ready for this. The warmth of his hand is so loud that everything else in my brain feels quiet. My thoughts are at a complete halt. My inner voice isn't competing with itself for my attention. Nothing can compete with the way it feels for my hand to be held like this, unprompted and because he wants to. If this is what happens when you get out of your house, then I really need to get out more often. Thank you, I say. I'm not familiar with proper hand-holding etiquette. Am I even supposed to be thanking him? I hope he doesn't think I want him to stop. Oh God, please don't stop holding my hand. That was a thank you for holding my hand, please don't stop kind of thank you, just in case you were wondering. Not that you were wondering, but just in case you were. This is every dating scenario I've ever been in. This is how I am. By now, every member of my cohort has noticed us holding hands in the back of the single file line we've followed into as well as we all walk together. I can hear people in the front whispering about us. Stella frantically meets my eye to telepathically check in with me and ensure I want the company of this handsome stranger. The look on her face is a mixture of concern and surprise as she receives glance number 2 from me. I don't think anyone is as surprised at my social success tonight as I am. Well, maybe one besides myself and Stella. Having shared a room with me for 3 months, she is painfully aware of how unprecedented the happenings of tonight have been. Stella gives me a reassuring smile, then returns to her conversation in the front. I'd like nothing more than to interpret it as a silent vote of confidence, even though a part of my brain is doing everything in its power to convince me in some deeply subconscious way that her smile is her special way of mocking me rather than encouraging me. I wonder if she's mad at me. She's probably not mad at me. She might be. She isn't. Is she? I would really like a tiny museum headset. I'm not sure if it's the way the air smells, the buzz of my drinks hitting my bloodstream, or the feeling of being admired by someone well out of my league, but I feel like I'm levitating down the streets of Paris. I'm not sure how long I've been silent. The silence doesn't bother me like it usually does. On a normal day, I tend to fill each waking moment with a sound in hopes that I don't lose the interest of those around me. I'm scared to be still and quiet because that might allow others the opportunity to realize they don't actually want to be around me. If I keep conversation moving forward, if I keep asking questions, if I fill every silent space, if I keep talking, then people won't have time to become bored of me the way I assume they inevitably will. But this isn't a normal day. This is a very not normal day. After walking for over an hour, we are now in sight of our university. I can see the gorgeous buildings peering over the shops that surround it. I've never seen buildings quite like the ones that exist in Paris up until now. I've never thought much of architecture, if at all, but it's hard to ignore the beauty of even the simplest buildings here. If the architecture class I took last semester would have covered buildings like the ones I'm staring at right now, I think I would have paid better attention. As beautiful as the dorm building is, I'm disappointed to be standing in front of it. I wish I could hold back time and keep tonight from slipping away from me. I can hear the sound of the crosswalk beeping in the distance, and for the first time in an hour, my entire group has reassembled. Stella is close enough to touch, and I'm silently begging for her to take her most Stella form and begin loudly organizing plans for the group the way that she typically does. Before we get to where you sleep, when would you like to pay? Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I already mentioned that earlier. I don't have any cash left in my wallet. I spent it all back at the bar, but I do have cash in my room. It's just I didn't expect to be out this late. When we go to your room, you can pay me there. Chivalry is not dead, but it does feel like it's on life support at the moment. I can feel my face turning red. Am I crazy, or did we already discuss that I'd be paying him back for that slice of pizza when I got back to my dorm? That's a great plan. Again, thank you for the pizza, and also I'm sorry. Sorry for what? Well, a lot of things all the time, but right now for the pizza, I don't want you to think I intentionally suggested ordering food I couldn't pay for. I don't usually accept things for free. But one time, my friend's mom told me to always say yes when someone's offering you a gift, because sometimes it means just as much the person offering the gift as it does the person receiving the gift. Gifts aren't really my thing, but that's always stuck with me, you know. The crosswalk's pre-recorded message feels like it's getting louder and louder every time it repeats. It feels like it's screaming at me and only me at the moment. It's happening all over again. The words are coming out of my mouth faster than I can stop them. More words bubble up and out of me. So I thought to myself, what would Marley's mom tell me to do right now? She would tell me to accept the offer and take the pizza because who knows, you might have wanted me to have the piece of pizza as much as I wanted it. Not that I wanted it so badly I pressure you into buying it for me, because I would never do that. No matter how broke I am, I'd never do that. Did you know that people do that? They go on dates when they're low in cash just so that they can get someone to buy them dinner. I am single-handedly ruining this beautiful night with every word that escapes my lips in a violently projectile fashion. I could never do that. Not that those people aren't good people because they do that. I'm sure they're great people. If you've done that, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. And all I'm saying is it doesn't matter how broke I am. You can count on me to pay for my own pizza. Don't you worry about that. And the sex, yes? The what? And then Rogue Piéton Boulevard Jourdan, which I can't do French. So I think that's the crosswalk here is speaking these French words here louder, like, okay, crosswalk time. I'm sorry, it sounded like you just said sex. In the attempt to mask how wildly uncomfortable I am, I'm laughing harder than I should be. I can't tell for sure, but I don't think it's working. And then there's another French crosswalk sound. Yes, sex. Do you have enough money to also pay me for the sex? Why is he talking about sex? No one's talking about sex. We have not had sex. We've not talked about having sex. Why is he talking about sex? Oh my God. 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 Every human being within earshot of me and white button-up is now watching us, waiting for a response from me that does not exist. As of right now, I can't imagine a response complete enough to explain what's happening, which is ironic because just a minute ago, I couldn't shut the fuck up. But now, roughly a million seconds later, I barely believe I even own vocal cords. And again, there's the sound of the crosswalk in French. I think there's been a misunderstanding. My face is not red, it's officially purple. The skin on my face is so hot that it physically hurts when my mouth moves as I speak. I have never, and I mean never, misunderstood the actions of another human being so tremendously. No misunderstanding. I ask if you want company for the night. I told you my rate is cheap and you say yes and you tell me you'll pay in your room. Where's the misunderstanding? Oh my God. Oh my God. I am so sorry. I have made a huge mistake. When you asked if I wanted company, I had no clue you meant company. Like, I look around me and confirm my friends are staring as intensely at us as I figured they were and hope they weren't before I continue, as in sex. The word sex comes out of my mouth so quietly it almost sounds like I'm talking and inhaling at the same time. So you can't pay? I promise I didn't know. I'm not sure I even knew what I was planning on doing when we got up to my dorm room. I mean, I figured we would all play board games and drink the beer in our mini fridge and talk. I didn't think sex was even, and I really didn't think that you were, and I'm so sorry for wasting your time. I can pay you back for the pizza. Please let me pay you back for the pizza. Ding, 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 ding. Oh God, it's finally safe to cross. Another crosswalk sound. My classmates are frozen, clearly unsure of how much or little of their help to offer me. People on the corner are shoving past them to cross the street. I'm so overwhelmed by the thought of accidentally wasting an escort's time that it takes way longer than it should for every other truth to sink in that comes with accidentally wasting an escort's time. Little by little, tonight is beginning to make a lot more sense as White Button-Up's face stares angrily back at me. All the time he spent with me tonight wasn't because he thought I was interesting or pretty. free. He didn't buy me a drink because he wanted to get to know me. He didn't buy me a slice of pizza because I'm someone he sees worthy of a sort of date. He didn't hold my hand because he wanted to hold my hand. Oh my God, I want to vomit at the thought of him holding my hand. I look up at the sky and try to fill my lungs with air from above my head, hoping it might offer me something that the air just below it couldn't. In the most beautiful French accent, while White Button-Up shouts, "I don't want your fucking pizza money." The intensity in his voice makes me jump, and I feel Stella by my side before the exclamation point at the end of his sentence. He turns his body around and begins walking away. 2 steps in, he cocks his head to the left and spits on the sidewalk without stopping. Oh my God. By the tight grip Stella has on my forearm, I can tell she's more nervous than her voice sounds when she says, "I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but we all thought you knew." If there's a threshold for how much humiliation the human body can hold inside itself before needing to make room for more, Stella's comment just shoved me right past it. It takes all of 5 seconds for the entire night and the godforsaken pizza to launch out of my stomach and onto the sidewalk. The bad news, besides the obvious, is I have terrible aim, and Stella's shoes are ruined forever, no matter how many times she tells me that she's an expert at getting out stains. This isn't a stain. This is a shoe funeral. The good news is I will never accidentally waste a sex worker's time ever again. Stella and I update the list of glances just to make sure. You know, it's like, obviously we probably saw it coming in the book, because how else is she going to explain the "am I cheap" part and stuff? But still, it is so satisfying to see her unfold in her confusion. Oh, Elyse, you dear one. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Okay, that's enough for today. I will see you next time. Thanks for following.